Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the architecture of matter. We interact with physical objects literally every single day without a second thought. But right beneath the surface, there is this hidden microscopic framework that completely dictates exactly how materials function in our physical world. It's kind of mind-blowing when you really think about it.
So, let's get into Section 1, the Great Carbon Mystery. Two wildly different materials.
Just think about the extreme contrast between these two substances for a second. On one hand, we have diamond. It's so famously hard, it's literally used industrially to slice right through solid metal. Pretty intense, right? Then, on the flip side, we have graphite. It is incredibly soft, it flakes apart effortlessly to leave marks on your notebook paper, and it's even used as a lubricant for heavy machinery. Honestly, you couldn't ask for two materials that behave more differently.
But here is the absolute wildest part of our mystery. Despite these crazy differences in how they behave, one slicing steel and the other crumbling on paper, they are entirely composed of the exact same ingredient. No way, right? But it's true. They are both 100% carbon.
And that brings us to our main question for today. How in the world can the exact same element create such drastically different materials? How do their internal structures actually dictate their physical properties? To figure that out, let's look at Section 2, Elements versus Compounds, the basic vocabulary of matter. To crack this case, we really need to establish our baseline. So, an element is basically a substance that just cannot be separated or broken down into anything simpler by chemical means. Carbon, which is the sole building block of both our diamond and our graphite, is the perfect example of this. It's as fundamental as it gets.
Now, on the other hand, a compound is made up of atoms from two or more different elements, and they are joined tightly together by chemical bonds. Think of elements like individual letters of the alphabet and compounds as the actual words they spell out when you string them together. Water, for instance, isn't an element on the periodic table. It's a compound, uniquely formed by the precise bonding of hydrogen and oxygen.
In these chemical interactions, they aren't just some abstract concept from an old textbook. They are literally the foundation of our entire reality. From that simple glass of water sitting right there on your desk, to glowing, molten metal being cast in a massive industrial foundry, absolutely everything around us is built upon this delicate interaction of elements and compounds. Moving on to Section 3, the language of chemistry, the secret code scientists use. Now, if scientists want to communicate these complex structures universally no matter what language they speak, they need a highly specific shorthand. Imagine trying to sort and categorize a bunch of random items without being allowed to use any actual words, just symbols and numbers. Well, this is precisely how chemists map out the physical world. It's essentially a universal secret code. This is exactly where chemical symbols and formulas come into play. A simple element just gets a basic abbreviation, like a capital C for carbon. But when things get a bit more complex, we use a chemical formula. Take water again. Its formula, H2O, tells us the exact ratio of its elements. And heavier, more complex substances, like sulfuric acid, rely on an intricate, wordless combination of these symbols and numbers to perfectly map out their specific molecular recipe. It's brilliant, really. Let's wrap it all up and solve this in Section 4. Structure determines function, solving the carbon mystery. Okay, so the big secret here? It isn't in the ingredients themselves, but in their internal arrangement. The structure of an object completely determines its properties, period. In a diamond, every single carbon atom is tightly bonded to four others in this super rigid three-dimensional interlocking grid. That totally inflexible architecture is what makes it hard enough to cut steel. Graphite, though, it bonds its carbon into flat, two-dimensional sheets. The individual sheets are strong, sure, but the bonds between the layers are incredibly weak. So when you press a pencil to paper, those weak bonds just break and entire microscopic layers of carbon effortlessly slide off. The invisible architecture literally dictates the physical reality we experience. It's a great reminder that science isn't just confined to stuffy laboratories. It is the active process of looking at the everyday world, like a shiny diamond ring or that basic yellow pencil on your desk, and asking exactly how and why they function the way they do. Anyone asking those questions is being a scientist. So, I'll leave you with this to ponder. As you look around your environment right now, at your desk, your favorite coffee cup, the phone in your hand, what invisible secret architectures are sitting right in front of you? What wildly complex arrangements of elements are perfectly structured to give those everyday objects their unique properties? Definitely keep looking deeper. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you next time.